Hello once again guys, it's Lee here, one of the three hammers, and I'm here to review the match which is just finished. West Ham in Europa League playoff round match against Astra Gigu, or Gigui, however you say it. So the match is just finished. It's finished 1-1, and it's only going to be a short video. Probably the main reason for that is because actually not a lot happened in the game, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's go with West Ham's lineup. I'm guessing that people watching this don't care how Astra lined up, but we lined up with our cup keeper Darren Randolph in goal, back four minus a certain Mr. Antonio was Sam Byram at right back, centre halves. As I said in my preview, the ones I wanted to see, which was good, which was Oxford and Ogbonna, and then at left back was Reece Burke, which was an interesting call, but he did alright. Again, we'll get into that in a second. 4-4-2 we played actually, so the wingers were Antonio and Tor, two in midfield, Obiang and skipper Mark Noble, and up front Enna Valencia. And on his debut was Cagliari, which was good to see him go from the start. Had quite a strong bench with Carroll, Reed, Collins, amongst others were there. So some good options, and been a lot of comment about our squad depth this last week with all the injuries. But actually, if you look at the strength of our squad tonight, and of course the starting lineup, it was actually full of some very good players, and it was obviously good to see Burke and Oxford given a game as well. It's good to see the young players come through. So match kicked off, decent start, decent tempo, knocking the ball around. Not much in the way of effort really. Not a lot happened, and then finally we took the lead actually right on half time, which was good. It was Mark Noble, corner come in, Antonio challenged, and their defender Sapranairu or something along those lines sort of handled the ball, penalty, and of course, was it ever in doubt that Mark Noble would slot it home, and indeed he did. So we went in 1-0 at half time, which was great, and the second half started. What is there to say? I mean, I've been very quick this past week to say everyone needs to keep calm, so I'm going to try and do that myself now, but it wasn't great. It looked like, well, we didn't start the second half. They were on us from the first whistle. Their manager was very fired up on the sidelines. You could see that. And they really went for it in the second half. And we were sloppy. Our passing was poor. And when we had chances to break, we weren't keeping the ball. And it just wasn't a very composed second half performance, really. And there was two big moments. We'd been defending like we had for most of the second half. And we got a break. Young Marcus Brown did really well, skipped over a challenge, got through. I think he should have gone for goal himself. He didn't. He tried to square it from Antonio, who had made up a lot of ground on the right hand side, came steaming in, and it went wide. Probably should have made it 2-0 and probably would have put the tie to bed. I mean, that's what Clive Allen said on commentary as well. And then basically they went up the other end, won a couple of corners, and then one came in, not a great corner actually, coming to the near post. And the bloke manages to turn James Collins, who came on in the second half. He turns James Collins and smashes it into the roof of the net. Ali Beck was the name of the guy. He played for Romania in the Euros actually. He's got good pedigree. He came on and sort of changed the game really for Astra. And he'll probably start next week because he looks like their biggest threat. So it goes 1-1. And then that was it really for the second half. Very few chances. Like I say, it was just those two big moments. So rather than just sort of going into detail, I'll just pick up a few points. First of all, I thought Gokhan Tor, especially in the first half, certainly not as much in the second, but in the first half when he got on the ball, he was putting in some decent crosses, much better than how he played against Chelsea the other day. And people have been quick to judge him actually, but I think give him a chance to build up his fitness, get used to the Premier League, and obviously being with West Ham in the Europa League, and yeah, give him a chance to sort of do a bit more than he did today. And actually in that first half with Andy Carroll had started, I think we easily could have been 3-0 up at the break. he would have made a big difference because he was putting in some nice balls, and Antonio had one cleared off the line. Valencia should have scored. He put one over, but it wasn't to be. A couple of other points. I thought Reece Burke did brilliantly. Probably, if I was someone put a gun to my head, I'd probably put him as man of the match. Although again, it's difficult. It's difficult to really choose a man of the match from that. Thirdly, Mikel Antonio. Lots of talk about him in this past week. He played up on the wing. Did okay. My biggest point with him though is I just think he was trying too hard. I think he was trying too hard to impress. Whenever he got the ball, he was sort of, as Mr. Antonio is, he just sort of head down and charges, and a couple of times sort of overran it, sort of getting a bit excited I think, and maybe trying a little bit too hard. And it's such a shame that, you know, of course he had one clear off the line, like I say, in the first half, and in that one in the second where he made up so much ground. But I mean, without a doubt, he is much better playing on the wing, and he actually gives us some options on the counter attack as well, because without him we do lack pace for a counter attack, so it's good to see him back in the side. So it's 1-1, all square. We go to the second leg next week with an away goal, which is great, so which means we have to draw 0-0. But you know, it would have been nice, I think, if we could have really gone for that in the second half. We could have ended up killing the tie off today and then not having to worry about the second leg, but instead we've let Astra back in it, and they'll be buoyed by that, and you know, we'll come to Upton Park, I think, with a bit of confidence. Not Upton Park, we don't play Upton Park anymore, of course we don't. They'll come to the London Stadium next week with a bit of confidence, I think, and probably thinking they can get a result, and it certainly will not be an easy game. But that being said, we really had a chance today to kill that off in the first half, a couple of good chances. It wasn't to be, and there's only one thing left to say, and that's that hopefully we can kill the game off next week, win it 1-0, 2-0, get through nice and comfortably, hopefully, and we'll be into the group stages, which is where we all want to be. So until I'm back next week with the preview of that game, of course we play Bournemouth on Sunday. Let's hope we can get our first 3 points of the season. Let's hope that kick-starts our season, because we do look a bit sluggish at the moment, there's no denying. Hopefully Payet will be back, Lanzini should be back soon. Let's get them 3 points, and then let's finish them off next week. I'll be back with a review of that game, and until then, I'll see you soon.